Meeting of the Middletown Board of Estimate for November 14th. Absent Alderman Massey. First, so that would be roll calls, President myself and Council President Rodriguez. First item is 2.1, approval of the minutes of the 10:31 and 11:04 meetings.
Motion.
Motion by Rodriguez, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item is proposed general water and sewer budget. This is the public hearing. And so we have a public hearing for the proposed water and sewer budget. You want to just give a quick overview, Leonora? Just quick numbers. Nobody here from the public, but they may be online.
So for the 2025 revenue expense, we were able to maintain it within the tax cap for 2025, which is good in the general fund. We're looking at a total appropriation of $50,437,000. For water and sewer, we're looking at an appropriation for water of $7,910,000. Sewer, $6,301,000. So in total, budget, which includes also debt service, community development, and the senior transportation, we're looking at an overall budget of $69 million, so about $70 million for 2025.
Okay. And this is the public hearing, or are we scheduling a public hearing?
This is the public hearing
This is the public
for
hearing.
anyone that has any questions.
So we have some people in the audience, but they are all city, either employees or elected officials. Is there anyone from the public that would like to be heard on the budget? Anyone online, Eileen? Nobody online?
So what's the increase on the water and sewer?
We're estimating 2.25%.
2.25%. And then the budget and the tax cap altogether is what?
The tax cap for 2025 is $23,936,000. That's the tax cap for
Tax cap.
taxes. The difference is covered by the rest of operating revenue, such as sales tax, mortgage tax receivable, and other departmental income.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, I declare the public hearing closed.
We have to pass the budget?
We're going to,
What's that on there? Yeah, it's on there.
what number is it? 3.4, okay, it's on there. So we'll move on to item 3.2. Authorization to approve the additional $10 million amended bond resolution for the O&W building project. Leonora Liz is requesting to approve the attached amended bond resolution for the O&W project in order to commit to the additional costs of the project and renovation. The bond resolution is an amendment from the original bond resolution of $6 million. The amendment will be for the additional $10 million. Motion by myself,
Second.
second by Rodriguez. And keep in mind, this project is, we're hoping for additional funding to come in, but this is just for us to secure the grants that are out there. Is that,
Yes, correct. This is needed in order to secure and all the DASNY grants and everything like that we need.
Should move the mic up instead of,
People move it down, so I'm just doing people a favor.
it bends.
okay.
So is this an additional 10 million, or what's the total project that we have right now funded for this?
It's all in estimations. We don't have any bids or anything like that, so it can go from anywhere from 24 to
I
28?
think it was 24 to 28 was the last big one that we had. And I think the last number, Jacob, wasn't it 22 that the cost estimator came in at, plus engineering?
Yeah.
Yes, 22 and change. But,
So
well,
the design is not final.
the design is not finalized, so that's what she's getting to is, once the design's finalized, then the estimator will come in and do along with National Park Service and State Historic Preservation will come in and do the final, complete the design. The estimator will then do their job, and then we'll go through there. Make the decisions at that point.
So we don't spend the money?
We're not spending this 10 million, no.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a motion by myself, seconded by Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 3.3, authorization to transfer funds within the fire department budget to cover overdrafts to the fire department line. Chief Brady is requesting the following transfer of funds. $5,000 from overtime fire inspector, other equipment, $5,000, personal protective equipment, $43,3774, equipment, $52,6267, radio systems, $10,000, hose and appliance, $1,000, uniform allowance, $2,250, personnel training, $9,500, materials and supplies, $1,000, fire department equipment, $1,000, rental, office expense, $2,000, fire police, $3,000, training, $1,000, personal education paid men, $5,000, personal education, personal training volunteers, $6,000, fire prevention, $2,000, light and heat, $8,000, and materials and supplies, $2,000, for a total $73,350,041. Motion by myself,
Second.
seconded by Rodriguez.
Is there a reason why we're 29% overdraft?
Well, I have met with the fire chief, and he gave me a list of reasons that, including vacancies within there. We had 3 guys in academy. We had at least one out, as you know, for a couple of years based on 207A. And there is some questions about
Coverage?
some shifts. We had 4 or 5 people out on overtime out of a 6-man squad, which we're looking into, myself and Leonora are working with the fire department to see where their improvements can be. Some of it, according to them, are based on increase in salaries that were retroactive, and that made the overtime a little bit higher. But we are looking at the issues that we have with them regarding the overtime budget.
We are also still working with the fire department to cover the remaining overtime for the rest of the year. So this is just as of right now.
From like October, November?
So it would be for November
December.
and December.
So there's still 2 more months short.
Well, we don't know how they're going to operate moving forward. I believe they're going to look a little bit more at rejecting time off and things like that moving forward.
Okay.
So it'll be significantly less, but they have not provided that information yet. We're working with them on it.
We also are consulting the city labor attorney about the bidding process and the personal time off and and going back to, we had the similar problem about 10 years ago that we were able to address, and we're looking at re-implementing that procedure again. But right now, we want to find out what the root cause is, and then we'll come up with a solution. So motion was by myself, second was by Rodriguez. Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 3.4, resolution to approve the 2025 general water and sewer budget. Revenues and general fund, $26,500,287. Expenses are $50,536,831. Water fund is $79,1044. Revenue and expense. Sewer fund is $63,01,940. Revenue and expense. And the tax levy, which is the appropriation less the estimated revenue, is $23,936,544 within the 2025 tax cap. Motion by myself,
Second.
second by Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 3.5, authorization to approve the 3-year term, a 3-year contract with Empress Agreement for 2025 through 27. 25 is $60,178.36 per month. 26, $63,187.27 per month. And 2027, $66,346.64 per month. And motion was by myself,
Second.
66,000, yeah, what did I say, million?
Yeah.
Holy jeez.
That's more than our
We're
budget.
done, right? Yeah, correction, those are all in thousands. The, second was by Rodriguez.
Yep.
As you know, this is a new expense for us based on the crisis in New York State with the ambulance service. Most communities are going through it. I was talking to the people in Chester. I think the estimate they got from Empress was higher. I think it's over $1 million per year. So we're looking at alternatives. We're hoping that the county or the state jumps into this business a little bit, and should be a regional service, but
Weren't we gonna go look at our own?
we have talked to the fire union, and they have no interest in doing it, so there's a possibility now we might look outside the fire service to see if creating that type of
District?
Well, it can't be a district, you can't have a district within the city, it's got to be larger than, but we're looking at the legalities of it and the reimbursements that are, the state is changing some legislation, and that makes it more attractive to possibly get into the business. Right now, these are the projected gaps in Empress costs versus reimbursements. We have no choice.
This only provides one ALS, one BLS.
One ALS, one BLS in Middletown, dedicated to the city. We control them. If communities around us don't have ambulance service, create districts or provide service by contract, we can prohibit these from participating in mutual aid responses to communities that don't have the service. That's also a positive. That's forcing everyone to do the same thing. So Wayanda did sign on for, I think their cost to their district is, I was told, like, much more than us. I think it was $700,000-800,000 and for one ambulance.
They have their own ambulance.
They have their own, but I think it's costing their district close to $1 million for just the BLS service. I may have that wrong, but the people that are forming districts are paying more money than we're paying. Let me put it that way. I know the Chester numbers because I just spoke with them last week, and their estimates from Empress are in excess of $1 million. So that's what we have. And that's one of the reasons why we're even increasing the tax levy by the 2%. Otherwise, we could probably be much lower than that, because we paid for this last year by ARPA.
It was ARPA funded for
ARPA
this year.
funding. Now it's in our tax,
Now it's within our.
in our tax levy. Okay. Roll call. Aye.
Aye.
2-0 passes. Item 3.6, authorization to award bids for surplus vehicles, equipment to Auctions International. There's a list of meters, boat, air compressor, Super Duty Ford 250, Chevy Impala, and JCB loader for a total of $34,195. Motion by
Motion.
Rodriguez, seconded by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 3.7, authorization to relevy the 23 water and sewer delinquent bills. The relevy applies to 493 parcels of sewer for $254,248.46. And the unpaid water totals 493 parcels, totals $351,041.92. So a total of over $600,000 in unpaid water and sewer for 2023. Motion by myself to relevy. Second by Rodriguez. Any questions? And Leonora, this will now go on the tax bill. This is a change we made a couple years ago, right?
Yes, this will be re-levied to the 2025 tax bill.
Right.
The next one is the miscellaneous bill, so that's coming up next.
Okay. And the probability of collecting a majority of this through banks and others, if they're not paying their,
Yes.
we'll go through, like, the people who have an escrow the banks will now be notified that there's a delinquent water bill
Correct.
and sewer bill. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Water and sewer adjustments, we have none. A motion to adjourn. Oh, nope, oh. Jacob Twill.
Fund balance, fund balance. I bet you got a fund balance.
Mr. Twill, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening, Mayor, Council President, Aldermen, city officials sitting in the audience.
Snow czar.
This guy in search for a title. A man in search of a title. All right, so,
He has many.
yeah. Before you, and there, we're requesting a resolution through, the DOT has requested this resolution in order to give us a $2,668,000 for the traffic operations. Like we've done before, there are supplemental agreements that you have been approving throughout the last 3 years. This is one of them, to bring the total project cost for the DOT, funded by DOT, is $24,476,203. So basically what you're doing is you're committing to put up the money. Eventually, we'll get back 80% of it from the federal government, and 20% will have to be local match. What happens is, because this qualifies for Marchicelli funding, the state will pay 15%, so our total liability or share will be only 5%, assuming there is money available from the state. And that's throughout the years, that number goes up and down. Eventually, they catch up to it, the state, the 15% share. But that's where we are. Like we've done in the previous resolutions, this is just mirror image to that resolution.
So at the minimum, we're getting 80% back, and the probability is we're going to get 95% back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, motion by myself. Did you want to read the resolution, or do you have a resolution to read, or
No, it's a long resolution. We can enclose that.
can you summarize it? Then it's,
Well, it's basic, yes, sure. It's basically traffic operation stage 1, whereas Middletown traffic operation stage 1 of the city of Middletown, PIN number such and such, is eligible for funding under Title 23 U.S. Code as amended, that calls for appropriation of cost such program to be borne at a ratio of 80% federal, 20% non-federal funds. And whereas Resolution 2014-21 adopted by the City of Middletown in October 19, 2021, approved and agreed to advance project by making commitment for 100% of non-federal share of the cost of the construction and construction inspection work, and increase the federal and non-federal share cost of for the additional fund for the additional preliminary engineering work of the project. And whereas it was subsequently found necessary to undertake additional construction and construction inspection work, none contemplated in the original agreement authorized in the previous resolution, and whereas it has been found necessary to increase the federal and non-federal share of the cost for the additional construction and construction inspection work for the project. Now, therefore, City of Middletown Council duly convenes, now does hereby resolve that the City of Middletown Council hereby approves the above subject project, and it's hereby further resolved that City of Middletown Council hereby authorizes City of Middletown to pay the first instance 100% of the federal and non-federal share of the cost for the additional construction and construction inspection work for the project, and therefore, and it's further resolved that the sum of $2.668 million, which is the summation, the difference between two numbers, is hereby appropriated from the H908.900, and it is made available to cover the cost and cost of participation in the above phases of the project. And it's further resolved that In the event the full federal or non-federal share cost of the project exceeds the amount appropriated above, City of Middletown Council shall convene as soon as possible to appropriate said excess amount immediately upon notification by the mayor thereof. And it is further resolved that the mayor of the City of Middletown and it's hereby authorized to execute all necessary agreements, certification, and reimbursement for cost of federal aid and or applicable Marchicelli aid on behalf of the City of Middletown with the City of New York, with the State of New, I'm sorry, with the New York State Department of Transportation in connection with the above, in connection with the advancement or approval of the project, and providing for the administration of the project and the municipality's first instance funding the project cost and permanent funding of the local share of federal aid and state aid eligible project cost and all project costs within the appropriation thereof that are not eligible. And it's further resolved that in addition to the mayor, the following municipal titles: Commissioner of Public Works, City Engineer, Controller, or Treasurer, are also hereby authorized to execute any necessary agreement or certification on behalf of the municipality or sponsor with the New York State DOT in connection with the advancement and approval of the project identified in the state and local agreement. Resolved that, and that's it.
Thank you for summarizing that.
You wanted me to read it.
Can you read, can you read the sixth paragraph back? All right, so. Motion by myself, second by Rodriguez. No further questions.
You don't want to ask him anything.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, now, is it okay to motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. So moved. Second by Rodriguez. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.